Hey everyone, hope you're all doing well. Sorry if I sound a bit stuffy, my allergies have been acting up and so I've been sneezing and my nose has been runny and all that. But anyway, I wanted to make a video anyway and I wanted to talk about gen rushing. Gen rushing is one of those terms that you do hear a lot and it's a controversial one. There's a lot of people that are, it's sort of split how people feel about the term gen rushing. And it's also sort of a trigger term. There's a lot of trigger terms where you say it and it gets people just immediately fired up when they hear the term. Gen rushing is one of those terms. But first, let's talk about how gen rushing is not used correctly. A lot of times you'll have a killer who spends the entire match chasing one person, and it'll be like a 5 gen chase. By the time they catch them, the game's over, or maybe even just 3 to 4 gens are done, and they'll be like, "Wow, this team is gen rushing." No, it's not the case. You just threw the match, and the other survivors had nothing else to do because you chose to chase one survivor the whole game. And so when you say you get gen rushed in those situations, I can get maybe it feels like the gens are going fast, but really that's not really what gen rushing is. At least not in my opinion, that's not what it is. The way I would describe actual gen rushing is if you have a team that comes in and they have like 1 to 2 brand new parts, they have Prove Thyself, and they immediately start the game just pounding gens, and throughout the match they don't do anything else besides gens. Like, they don't go for hook saves or heal themselves or their teammates, and towards the end when there's 1 or 2 gens left, they all get together with Prove Thyself, and really, like, it's like 3 to 5 minute games, like really fast games. And it doesn't happen that often. It's kind of rare, honestly. Like actual gen rushing, it is rare, but I would say that it does happen, and I would say that it is a term. Like, it is a term that you can use, because all it means is gens are being done in a rushed manner, like you're doing gens really fast. But the thing is that survivor mains will say, well, gen rushing doesn't exist because gens are the objective, so gen rushing shouldn't, be a term because that's just our objective. Well, it doesn't really matter if that's your objective or not. All they're saying is you're doing your objective very fast by using items, add-ons, splitting up and doing it like in the most fast way possible. Again, ignoring your other side objectives and just focusing on gens. Like, yes, you're doing your objective, but it's just saying that you're doing your objective in a rushed manner. And I don't think it's a bad thing. A lot of people talk about gen rushing as if it's a bad thing. I mean, it's the same thing with all those other trigger terms like tunneling, camping, all that stuff. Gen rushing isn't a bad thing. Like, obviously you have where the other side, might not have an enjoyable experience because it's a really fast game, and it might be annoying or not fun for the other side, but that doesn't mean that it's a bad thing to do, because it can be very effective, obviously. Because as we know, with the new skill-based matchmaking system, MMR rewards kills and escapes. So if you're doing all the gens like as fast as you possibly can with like a really coordinated swift, and you're just getting out and escaping, that really is the most efficient way to get your MMR up, because of the way behavior has implemented that. So yes, while it might not be fun to have insanely fast games as killer, you can't really fault the survivors for it, because they're just using the tools that the game gives them, and they're doing their objective really fast to attain escapes, which is what behavior wants you to get if you want to increase your MMR. So does gen rushing exist? Yeah, it exists. You can do gens in a rushed manner. Yeah. Does that mean it's a bad thing? No. Does it mean that you're doing your objective wrong, or does it mean that the gens are no longer your objective? No. I don't know why this is an argument. It's like people complain about tunneling, right? And you can say the same thing, where it's like the killer's just doing their objective. The objective is to kill, right? Again, MMR, skill-based matchmaking, rewards kills. Kills are what increases. It doesn't matter how you get them. It really doesn't. So if you're tunneling to get somebody out of the game fast, banking they don't have DS and stuff, and you're just tunneling them hook after hook, get them out, and then you have an easier match from there, and you're able to kill the rest of the team. Again, you're tunneling. People could say that tunneling isn't a real term, just like survivor mains say gen rushing isn't a real term. They both are, because if you want to say it's tunnel vision, you're focusing on one person to help the match become easier for yourself, or you're rushing gens, doing gens in a rushed manner. I don't even know why it's necessary to have to explain this. I feel like everything I'm saying is common sense, but unfortunately the community is so just up their own ass and doesn't just comprehend that both sides have an objective and can do those objectives quickly, and that there are terms that are matched to that. Like if you're trying to kill someone fast, obviously, if you're trying to kill a particular survivor fast, you're tunneling them. If you're trying to do gens really fast, you're rushing gens. It doesn't mean that either of those terms are bad. Obviously, the Dead by Daylight community, you think they're bad because you're just a bunch of fucking whiny babies that bitch about absolutely everything that you can because the whole world revolves around you. But yeah, gen rushing and tunneling are not bad things, but they are legitimate terms that do and can be used to describe those actions, right? I just hate the objective argument. That is just the dumbest shit. Gen rushing doesn't exist because it's the gens are the objective. And you try to say, well, killing is the killer's objective, and then survivor mains will come back and say, well, you have other people to chase, you have other people to go after. And then you could easily say, yeah, and you have other objectives besides just gens. You could do totems, you could heal yourself, you get points for healing and altruism, you have other things you can do in the match as well, you know, but you just focus on gens. And then on the killer side, you're just focusing on getting one person out instead of everybody. So yes, you're still completing your objective, but you're focusing, you know, a little bit more in on completing your objective quickly, if that makes sense. But you just can't see it from both sides because, again, this is just how the DBD community functions. It doesn't matter if you're on killer side or if you're on the survivor side. They refuse to see things from the other person's perspective. God forbid you just try to open your fucking eyes and look at it as like one big, like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Yes, can't we all just do our objectives efficiently and just play the goddamn game? No, we can't, because people are just, you know, just the DBD community. That's all I mean, what else can you say? So in conclusion, I would say survivors, stop saying that gen rushing doesn't exist, because it does, but that doesn't mean it's a bad thing. It's just, again, a term that means doing gens fast, because you bring in items and perks and use certain playstyles to do gens much faster than you would in just a regular standard match. That's all it means. So yes, it is a valid term. And killers, stop misusing the term and giving survivor mains a reason to say, no, you're fucking stupid for using that term because you're not even using it correctly. Just because you got outplayed and they did the gens while you chased one survivor around the whole match, and then you want to complain about being gen rushed. No, that's not what gen rushing is. So both of you need to just get over yourselves and understand what these terms mean and who gives a shit, man. Like, people make up terms to describe things and you just get all in a rut, in a fuss, in a big old knot. You know, you just gotta get all fired up. But hey, let me know if you agree or disagree down in the comments. I'm sure there's plenty of discussion to be had, and I'm sure it'll be civil, right? All right, that's it for this one. I hope you have a great rest of your day or evening wherever you are, and I'll see you in the next one.